Hey, welcome to a bonus episode of Play by Play with myself and Pat. Hey, Pat, happy holidays to you. You ready for the
Happy,
holidays?
yeah, happy holidays, Jerry. We are. We're going to head out soon to see family in Albuquerque and in Phoenix, and take in the Christmas spirit. So things are well, thank goodness.
Yeah, same here. Everything is booked and ready to go. I'm going to be seeing my daughter for the holidays, see my brother, have a nice holiday dinner with him, and then a great vacation with my daughter in Atlanta. And we got some games coming up this weekend.
We do, and beyond, and even beyond that, I'm going to stretch it to some bowl games
Please
that
do.
I really like some of the lines. But let's start tonight, right? Indiana at Notre Dame. Now, this line has fluctuated, man.
It has. It's 6.5 right now. And I had a hard time, believe it or not. I have a strange feeling the over-under is 51. I have a feeling they're going to play conservative because it's the first time they're doing the one and done playoff. And I think it's going to be under. I think it's going
Yep.
to be so I'm taking the under 51 in that game because I really couldn't decide. I like Notre Dame, but you just don't know who's going to show up.
Hey, Jerry, I have a Vegas site here. Uh, Vegas Insider. On Tuesday, it was 8.5. Indiana was getting 8.5. And I'm taking Indiana and that 8.5. But I agree with your point. I would say look at every one of these playoff games and possibly take the under. Every one of them.
Wow. Well, I believe it or not, I did that in the first game tomorrow, the Penn State SMU. You would think that that will be a high scoring game, but again, it's 8.5. I can't choose between them. I don't know if SMU will cover. I know Penn State's really good. That's probably where I'd lean, but I like 53.5 and under that number in a contest that will stay within the within those numbers. And again,
Right. Good ball game. Uh, Vegas Insider had SMU at 8, and that's when I took it. I am taking SMU. I agree again with your analysis of going the under, but for the books, I will take SMU with the 8. I think they have a very high powered offense. I think Penn State will play it conservatively, try and ground it out. Uh, Drew Aller, the quarterback, is under the gun. He likes to run. He can't get dinged up. They have no backup quarterback. I think you read last week their backup went into the
went into
portal
the portal. Yeah,
1 week before the game. This is craziness. Penn State wins, but I think SMU covers.
I'm with you there. In the 4 o'clock game, um, I'm going to stay local here. I'm going to take Clemson, their experience, Dabo Sweeney playing in big games at 12, getting 12.5 points. And Texas has only played in like three big games and they've all been close. So I'm going to say going with Clemson, the experience, and plus 12.5 and my South Carolina connection.
I think you're right about that. I'm not picking that game. I heard a bunch of, well, one betting show this morning on College Sports Today, ESPN Radio, and that guy was all over Clemson. So you might be right on there. I'm going to skip to Tennessee at Ohio State. I think another very conservative game. I think Ohio State is still smarting from the loss at Michigan. The Boo Birds might come out if they get a slow start. Tennessee has played a lot of grind out close games in the SEC this year. I'm taking Tennessee and the 7.
I'm right along with you there. I'm just going with the SEC, and Tennessee has played a lot of tough opponents and played them close all year long. Nobody's really blown them out.
Jerry, I'm going to skip to. I know you're going to do a few pros, and I'll keep track of these as I normally do. I'm going to skip to a few bowl games
Oh, please
where I
do.
think that uh, the teams are intact, players haven't opted out, the coaches have their attention, and they have things to play for. And one of those, I can't believe the name of this bowl, the Rate Bowl in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm taking Rutgers, probably not to beat Kansas State, but I believe in Greg Schiano and his program. I think they'll go down there ready to play. They have much to play for, winning record, bowl win. They're getting 6.5. I'm taking Rutgers against Kansas State.
Great. The only bowl games that I had particular, I mean, there's a few, but I really like Georgia Tech against Vanderbilt. Georgia Tech is minus 2.5, and they've played some great games this year. They had an upset of Georgia, so I'm leaning on them as one of my bowl picks.
I agree. Georgia Tech, again, a coach that has his team under control, very few opt outs. They have something to play for. Vandy is the Cinderella pick, getting 2.5, right? 2.5's that line.
Yeah.
And since that player, Diego Pavia, the quarterback, played here at New Mexico State, was a superstar for us, led us to a 9-win season, and he was hot all year. Vandy has something to play for, no opt outs. I'm taking Vandy in that 2.5. So I'm going to go against you on that.
Okay, great. Uh, Looking down the list, there's a lot of games there. I uh, the Connecticut North Carolina game. It's 1.5 points. Connecticut's getting 1.5 points. I like UConn simply because North Carolina's in transition, and they're going to have people coming in and out, and who's in the transfer portal. So I like UConn there.
I don't think there's any doubt. Good pick. I'm not going there. I think Texas A&M USC will be a good ball game. USC is losing players. That line's probably going to change. I have Texas A&M -1. They have no opt-outs. Their team's intact. New coach, great year. The program's intact. I'm taking A&M -1 against USC.
It's great. Well, I'm going down a ways. I'm probably not going to go beyond this with picks because I just haven't really looked at them. Although there are some teams I like, but Colorado, I'm going to go with Colorado against BYU. Colorado's a 5 point favorite, and I got to believe it's that all of the Colorado players are playing. There's
Yep,
nobody opting out. BYU
yep,
will have a couple people opt out.
yep, yep. That's going to be a great game. Again, both teams will be intact, and that's what you want to look for in these bowl games. A competitive game, something you could sit down and watch. But I'm going to take what was a controversial bowl game only because the whole team opted out.
Yeah, they didn't have enough
Okay.
players.
And so Army is playing the substitute team, Louisiana Tech. Army is giving 16.5. I think they're going to roll them. I think Army, again, has their purpose. They'll be pissed that they lost to Navy. Their team's intact. Louisiana Tech came off exams. They're partying. Then the coach calls them up and says, "Hey, we got a bowl game to play." They're like, "Oh, crap. I don't want to play now. I've been off 2 weeks." Take Army fans -16.5.
Good pick. Hey, I don't have any major picks the rest of the way, I mean, off the top of my head,
You
I
got some pros though, right?
I got pros, but on college, I'm gonna wait and
Yeah.
see what the transfer portal says. But in the NFL, there's some games I really like. I can tell you the Steelers are playing the Ravens again. Steelers are underdogs, six and a half. I gotta go with Tomlin. That 18-2 record. Anytime the point spread's more than three, I gotta go with Tomlin. The underdog covers that game, and Tomlin wins it more often than not against the Ravens.
I know that you're on top of that rivalry. You have a lot of stats on that, Jerry, and no doubt that is a very close game. Every time they play, 6.5 is like screaming. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, it is a lot there. So I think the Steelers could win that outright. I love Indianapolis giving 3.5 to Tennessee. Tennessee's a mess, and I don't think they're in it to win it. I think Indianapolis wants to come back from the disaster they had the week before.
Right?
The guy dropped the ball before he got in the end zone and
That was
kicked.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So I like the Colts to beat the Titans by 3.5. I might even buy that down to three. Be on the safe side.
You have some other pro picks too, right?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I got to go against my New England Patriots. They're 14-point underdog. The Bills are rolling right now.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
what I don't know is before I choose that game, do the Bills need this game to get? I know they got home field advantage, but do they have do they have the top seed? I think they're two games behind Kansas City, and
You're
Mahomes is going
correct.
to sit out this week.
You're correct. Mahomes is supposed to play.
Oh
What
wow!
what I heard on my shows this morning, I I think it's ridiculous. Um, I think that
They got a
you
two-game cushion.
they play again on Wednesday. Did you know that?
I don't. No, I didn't. They have a two-game cushion.
Yeah,
Why would he want
yeah.
to come out and play that soon?
Well, the word is that he's going to play, and they are at, where do I have them? Kansas City. Kansas City. Come on. Oh, they play Saturday. They're Houston
Against
at
Houston.
Kansas
Against
City. That's a
Houston.
Saturday game.
Against Houston, and that's not going to be an easy game.
Right, right.
I,
But you're right. They have a 2-game lead on Buffalo.
I'm going to go with my Eagles again over the Commanders. Everybody and everything I've read and all the data points toward the Commanders covering that game. It's 3.5, but the Eagles have been a covering machine. I'm going to stick with the Eagles at given 3.5 to the Washington Commanders.
You're staying with the Eagles,
Yeah.
and I'm going the opposite. I look for a very close game. I think that hook at 3.5 sells me. Uh, I'm an Eagles fan. I root for him. I want him to win. I want him to get the number one seed. But we always have these crazy games down in DC. Used to be RFK Stadium. Now it's FedEx Field. Uh, just to be a contrarian and looking at past history, I'm taking Washington getting the 3.5. And then I have one more, but then you go ahead.
No, go ahead. What's your one more? Because I have I have a crazy one. Um, I well I like Atlanta giving 8.5 to the Giants. I just want to give Penix some grace that he's going to come out in his first start and do some amazing things. And his mobility, I think, will carry them that throughout the game, and the Giants have been hurt and wounded and don't really have a quarterback.
Yeah, I think it is very good fortune that he is playing his first game against New York at home. I'm not taking that game, but I agree with you. I think Minnesota is the hottest team in football, along with the Eagles. Uh, 11 wins. They're playing great. Now I think they have 12 wins now. 12-2. Anyway, they're getting Minnesota at Seattle. Geno Smith, the quarterback, is hurt. He's supposed to play. He won't be mobile. He hurt his knee the last game. Minnesota -3 on the road. I'm taking the road favorite.
The road favorite in that?
Yeah,
Good.
Minnesota minus
Yeah.
three.
No, I like Minnesota. That's a good one. Well, so that's our picks.
And we will reconvene with our guests and our audience after the new year. So we want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever holiday uh, you love and you work with and you celebrate, and a happy 2025 to everybody, Jerry.
Yeah, I will concur with that, Pat, and I'll just share to all of our loyal listeners, the people that click on our podcast, the people that listen, thank you so much. It means a lot every time we inch by inch, every time we do one of these, the growth of the number of people listening has gone up and up. So a big shout out to all the fans we have out there that listen to our podcast, and we look forward to bringing you more and more in the coming year.
Absolutely. Let's all have safe travels and safe holidays. Bye bye.
Bye bye, adios.